Hello everyone, thank you for listening and watching. My name is NefandEli and you can find my information in the description box below. Please check out my community board. I post there every day information about crystals and spirit animals and whatever's going on in the astrology. And if you'd like some yoga inspiration, you can check out my Instagram and TikTok links below. I'm also doing short readings on my new TikTok. So if you want shorter readings that are like 3 minutes or so, you can check me out there. I'm going to keep the longer readings on my YouTube channel and put these shorter readings on my TikTok. Okay? So in this video, I'm going to talk about a channeled message I got from Spirit called The Spiritual Divorce. That's what I heard. And right after that, I heard that song from Usher, I'm ready to sign them papers. And it's interesting, this particular visualization I had during my meditation was very vivid. I remember I was sitting in, I guess, some kind of office, and Melchizedek was there. I don't know why. I guess Melchizedek has a very high ranking when it comes to like the Akashic records and contracts. I know I have some information about Melchizedek, but he's been showing up a lot lately in my meditations when it comes to like divine union, divine counterparts during my meditation and during the readings I've done as well. So maybe I need to get some more information. But anyways, I know it was Melchizedek, and I was sitting at a desk. Well, he was sitting on one side, and me and my karmic soulmate, who I've talked about in other videos, he was sitting on the other side. And I was signing a contract, and they both looked, you know, my soulmate, he looked really bothered, like surprised, shocked that I was signing the paper. And Melchizedek, the energy I got from him was very neutral. He's like, look, you have free will. You know, if she wants to leave this divine contract, you know, I'm going to grant her wish. And it's weird because the energy that I felt was that Melchizedek kind of knew that I had been through so much with this person, that they had violated so many universal laws. You know, anytime you do black magic or spell work on a divine counterpart, it sabotages the connection. So I felt like he kind of knew this, almost like he looked at the evidence that was presented, and he determined that I was allowed to be granted a spiritual divorce. And I know that a lot of you all are going through this on some level. I've heard about other readers talking about it as well, like, you know, divine counterpart separation, people deciding not to connect to their twin flame, which is not uncommon, right? It's very unlikely that you will connect with your twin flame. Usually they come into your life to teach you lessons, and for whatever reason, one or the other twin doesn't seem to evolve fast enough. This is generally speaking. There are some twin unions, you know, of course, that are coupled, but the ones that don't make it, it's because somebody is not in vibrational alignment, okay? So, like I've mentioned in other videos as well, divine counterparts typically share a mission together. From our perspective in the 3D, when it comes to this mission, we're on a timeline, right? There's divine timing in everything. So certain connections need to come together, or the blueprint needs to be adjusted, right? But God is the divine judge. Our spirit guides, you know, our ascended masters, they're the divine judge, assessing connections to determine if there needs to be a spiritual divorce, a canceling of the divine contract between two counterparts. And during that meditation, I was talking to you about, like, maybe, I want to say maybe 3 weeks before that, I had another message, and it said time's up. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but now I do, right? And it did make me cry at the time, because I think on a soul level I knew, but like intellectually, conceptually, I wasn't really able to, I didn't want to allow myself to understand what that message meant, if that makes any sense. But, you know, we have free will, and we can decide to go against the divine plan. We'll get karma, of course, but it's still our choice. Spirit told me that when it gets to the point where there needs to be a spiritual divorce, one of the people involved has already experienced a lot of karma. And this is Spirit's attempt to get them on the right path. So if they've gotten to the point where there needs to be a separation orchestrated by the universe, somebody has already gotten karma, okay? It's a refusal to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Making this choice over and over again to be quote unquote disobedient, going deeper and deeper into karmic debt. It's no different than a married couple when one of them has an addiction of some sort or they're having an affair, just making poor choices, right? And it ends up affecting the couple financially. It ends up in separation. What is it, like over 50% of marriages end in divorce? And I think of that 50%, 40% of that is from, I think it's either infidelity or financial issues. I might have those numbers wrong, but I know it's pretty high, okay? I remember hearing a story on Snapped. Y'all know I like that show. And this woman was with this man. I just couldn't believe this story when I heard it. You know, it was crazy. So she marries a guy like 14 years younger than her, and she didn't look bad herself. That's why she was able to attract this guy. But he was a total fucking snake, okay? He ended up having a gambling problem, shooting heroin. Then he had an affair. And even though he was doing all this, he still seemed to be pretty well off. Like in the beginning, he was able to make a lot of money. I think they lived in Vegas and they worked in the casino industry. But long story short, he ends up having an affair with this woman. His wife finds out. They end up separating, but then they get back together. He's still having the affair with the other woman. His wife finds out again. This time, she allows it to go on. I don't know why. This guy looked like a total fucking ogre. Like he was not attractive. I mean, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I was just like, what does he have? What power does he have over her to be? Yeah. So anyways, he continues the affair with this woman, and the whole time they're actually starting to get into debt because his gambling addiction is starting to get out of control, okay? So they get into so much debt that the house that they own is going to go under foreclosure. So the wife tries to go and take out like a personal loan or something, basically in both of their names, and she ends up finding out that he's racked up a credit card bill, $14,000, with his mistress. So she ends up leaving him for good this time, but she was angry, okay? So she ended up setting him up and shooting him. And she got away with it. Like the judge, I guess there wasn't enough evidence to convict her of murder, but the prosecutor said that when the judge gave the not guilty verdict and they got up to leave, the lady looked over at him and winked. Okay, so she knew what the fuck she was doing. I just thought that was the wildest story ever. So I don't know why Spirit led me to share that, but yeah. Anyways. But you know, when it comes to divine contracts and divine counterparts, again, if one of the other partners is accumulating too much debt, there's going to be a problem, right? There's going to probably be a spiritual divorce or a real divorce, as above, so below. When the spiritual divorce happens, just a side note, if you are going through this, you're going to experience some physical symptoms as you release cords and all of the connections that you had with that person. You'll feel this energy around the solar plexus chakra and heart chakra primarily. There'll be some shifts because these are the main areas that get corded during divine unions. But always remember, too, that we are eternal beings in these flesh suits. If we don't get it right with our divine counterpart in this lifetime, God may grant us another opportunity to reconnect in another lifetime, but we'll have to still learn the karmic lessons, okay? Ultimately, it will depend on our level of healing and our vibrational alignment. So when I got this message, I pulled some cards, and from the Psychic Tarot, I got Discontent and Boredom, Four of Cups, Intuition, High Priestess, and at the bottom, Throat Chakra reversed. And from the Angels and Ancestors deck, we have Peacekeeper, Mirror Guardian, and at the bottom, Earth Guardian. From my Triggers and Towers deck, we have Non-Committal, Masturbates to You, Fuckboy, and Spell Work. And from my Self-Love and Empowerment deck, we have My Spirit Animals Surround Me and Support Me, Money Comes to Me Easily, and I Belong Here. So if you're resonating with the energy of this reading, you and your divine counterpart are not in communication at all. Everyone on these cards are turned away from each other. The divine feminine, though, seems to be standing her ground, with Bull being behind her on this Peacekeeper card and the door closed on the Intuition High Priestess card. So it feels like the divine feminine in this connection is the one that made the decision to sever the ties, to cut the cord, to cancel the divine contract. This masculine energy here is a fuckboy and a coward, I'm hearing. He would rather do spell work on you and sex magic on you to try to get you to come to him instead of having open and honest communication with you. So he definitely has a lot of healing to do. I'm hearing that some of these masculines have a sex addiction as well. So this could be the situation as to why the divine contract is canceled. I know that's true for me. But we've been picking up for a long time that divine counterparts are trying to do spell work on each other to affect their money and their stability. But as I mentioned earlier, when you do this, it not only sabotages the connection, but you get instant karma. Okay? Because as divine beings, we know better. We know that doing spell work and black magic and sending out negative energy is not the move. Okay? But divine feminines, we're also highly intuitive. We're high priestesses. We're empresses. So we know what people are trying to do before they do it. So not only will you get your karma, we're going to send that energy right back to you if we have that awareness. Okay? And it's not going to work. Whatever the fuck they're trying to do as far as sabotaging your divine counterpart, whatever, it's not going to work. Okay, with Buffalo here representing abundance, standing behind this divine feminine, and the Earth Guardian being here, this feminine energy is stable, strong. Money comes to her easily, and she's right where she belongs. She's earned her right. She's earned her divine ranking through her hard work and through her reflection work. Now, keep in mind, the roles could be reversed, right? This could be a masculine energy that I'm talking about. So just take what resonates, leave the rest. But the divine masculine may have missed his opportunity in this lifetime with you due to him being non-committal, having addictions, and not only being non-committal to you, but non-committal to his own spiritual journey. Okay? I'm hearing he's definitely been committed to being a fuckboy. So the issue is not commitment, right? He'll commit to something. But because of this, you've closed the door on this connection and you're standing your ground. You want a spiritual divorce. And Spirit says yes and amen. You know, it's just one of those things where, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, divine unions cannot be stopped. They can be delayed, they can be sabotaged and put off, till other lifetimes, but they can't be stopped, right? Because there's a purpose for the connection. And I feel like that's what's happening here. There's been too much sabotage, too much delays, people not, doing what they need to do, not trusting their intuition and doing all kinds of other shit, right? But it's unfortunate. It really is, because there's so much happiness in divine unions. I'm hearing the divine masculine is going through a lot of karma, like I mentioned earlier, but I'm hearing that it's really intense, like dark night of the soul energy. And I'm hearing him say it's not fair, it's not right. But God is saying fair isn't what you need. That song from One Republic, but fair in what you really need, right? Because you've had opportunities to make a shift. You've had opportunities to go in another direction, to repent, because that's the definition of repenting, right? Is to turn around and go in another direction. And I feel like whoever this masculine is, that is having an issue with this separation, they had so many chances to get it right. But at the end of the day, we have a purpose individually, right? The divine masculine and the divine feminine. And so that always needs to be our primary focus. And God can send in a replacement because the mission is the most important thing. There are over 7 billion people on this planet. Okay? God is not going to ask you to waste your fucking time on somebody who refuses to heal, on somebody who refuses to do the work. He'll just recruit somebody else. He'll just embody that counterpart energy into somebody else, right? Whosoever will, period. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.